A gray-green expanse of sagebrush carpets the hills and plains of North America's western interior. To the casual observer, this cold, dry landscape may seem empty, but a closer look reveals mule deer and pronghorn, lizards and jackrabbits, burrowing owls, and other birds of prey. The greater sage-grouse is a living emblem of the aromatic sagebrush ecosystem. The bird depends upon the sagebrush throughout its entire life cycle. In summer, sagebrush provides nesting sites and shelter from predators. In winter, sagebrush is the sole item on the sage-grouse menu, in spite of the bitter-tasting compounds in the leaves. In spring, sage-grouse congregate at specific locations known as leks. These leks function as miniature outdoor ballrooms. Males strut about with stiff, fan-like tails, puffing up their chests and inflating colorful air sacs. The females are intrigued by this flamboyant display. The sage-grouse has already disappeared from 2 different states and was recently considered for listing as an endangered species. Multiple threats boil down to one major cause for decline. The amount of sagebrush habitat is rapidly shrinking. Scientists estimate that of the 500,000 square miles of sagebrush that once stretched across North America, only half now remains.
But sage grouse are uniquely adapted to use this specific plant. And so the bottom line is if we lose the sagebrush canopy cover off a system, you've lost the most important kingpin, the most important item in sage grouse survival. And so this is really the main limiting factor of sage grouse in this system. Without sagebrush to support the life cycle, to support the winter food, to support the nesting activity for the females, sage grouse populations will not exist.
Dr. Terry Mesmer of Utah State University's Quinney College of Natural Resources is determined to keep the bird, its habitat, as well as ranching livelihoods alive and well in Utah. Through local working groups, Terry supports concerned public and private landowners in all 11 of Utah's sage-grouse management areas. One project aims to grow and stabilize greater sage-grouse numbers in the Sheeprock Mountains of Utah's West Desert. For 3 consecutive nights in the early spring of 2016, Terry and graduate student Melissa Sheilak joined division biologists in Park Valley.
We met at 6:30 in Park Valley. We had a good showing of federal agencies, Division of Wildlife, Utah State University graduate students.
Rebecca? Who's the other chicken?
We team up into pairs. Each pair has what we call a spotter and a netter. The spotter's job is to find sage grouse, and the netter's job is to catch them. And when the sage grouse hear the ATVs or the trucks, they'll open their eyes to kind of see what's going on. And you can see their eye shine, and that's what we're looking for. It's pretty faint. It's kind of an emerald green color. And we ride up next to the grouse, and the netter jumps off of the ATV and nets the grouse and quickly holds the grouse down so it's not able to injure itself or anything like that. And at that point, we take the grouse out of the net, and then we have some measurements that we do. We weigh the grouse, we age the grouse, and then we also put a radio collar or a GPS transmitter that's attached to the grouse. And what this does is it allows us to track these grouse over time to see what they do after we release them.
With the sage grouse safely secured in the back of a truck, the biologists will caravan all night to ensure a pre-dawn release in the Sheeprock Mountains. Upon arrival, the team works quickly to set out the boxes. When the signal is given, all the birds are released at once. The release is successful. All 21 birds have dispersed. The team returns to Park Valley for a quick rest before another night of sage grouse chasing, capturing, and driving. The following summer, Melissa takes up residence at a field station located just east of the sheep routes. Each morning, Melissa and assistant Cassidy are out in the field by 6 a.m. They use ATVs to access remote locations to check for the presence of collared sage-grouse.
She's up on this hill, 29.
Reading transmissions from both GPS systems and pulsed radio signals, Melissa will track the movements of sage-grouse throughout the breeding season. She needs to answer 3 important questions. Are the translocated birds surviving? Where are they choosing to go and why? And lastly, are the new birds breeding successfully? The answers to Melissa's questions will come slowly over the course of 3 different field seasons. But by the end of the first breeding season, Melissa found that 32 of the 40 translocated birds had survived. 4 of the females built nests, and 2 of these nests produced chicks. These numbers may seem modest, but the translocation team is cautiously optimistic. The survival rate for the translocated birds is not much lower than that of resident sage-grouse, and most importantly, the Park Valley birds have started flocking with the sheeprock birds. Terry, Melissa, Jason, and others on the team expect more nests and more chicks in the coming year. According to Terry, a unique mix of public and private partnerships is responsible for Utah's success with the greater sage-grouse.
Some of our recent research suggests the things we're doing to manage the system, in conjunction with our private and public partners, are on the right track, because we're seeing some of the highest nest success, some of the highest chick survival, and also some of the highest let counts that have been reported range-wide. In the last several years, Utah's share of the west-wide sage-grouse population has increased from 4 to 6%, and that's testimony to the partnership, the hard work of the partners on a working landscape.